Welcome back to Ben's Book Club. Today, we are diving into a real game changer, The Little Book of Common Sense Investing. The author, John C. Bogle, who founded Vanguard, basically flipped the script on the entire investment world. He asked, what if investing wasn't some complicated game only Wall Street insiders could win? What if it was actually simple enough for all of us?
And that right there, that's the core of the whole book. This one idea is a massive challenge to the whole Wall Street machine, which, let's be honest, is built on the promise that their experts can beat the market for you. But Bogle's point is that for the average person, trying to do that is a game that's pretty much rigged against you from the start.
So, to break this down, Bogle tells this great little story. It's about a fictional family called the Gottrocks. Now, this family was incredibly fortunate. Through a lot of hard work and smart saving, they came to own every single stock in the entire United States. Think about that. They got all the profits, all the growth from every company. But then they got an idea. They decided to hire helpers, brokers, fund managers, who all promised they could make the family even richer.
So what happened? After a full year of these helpers furiously buying and selling stocks from each other, did the Gottrocks family as a group actually own any more of corporate America? No way, of course not. They still owned it all. The only real difference was that their total pile of wealth was now a little bit smaller. Why? Because they had to pay all those helpers. The helpers didn't create any new wealth, they just took a slice of what was already there.
Okay, so if hiring a bunch of helpers to try and beat the market is a loser's game, what's the winning move? Well, this is where Bogle's idea is just so brilliant, because it's so simple. Instead of playing Wall Street's game, you just decide to play a different one.
And this is probably his most famous metaphor. The needle is that one superstar stock, or that one genius fund manager who's going to change your life. And the search for that needle, it costs a ton of money and time, and you almost never find it. So Bogle's advice is simple. Just stop looking. Forget the needle. Buy the entire haystack. Own a little piece of everything, and you guarantee you'll get the market's return.
So how do you actually buy the haystack? The tool for that is the index fund. It's totally passive. There's no highly paid manager in a fancy suit trying to pick winning stocks. It just buys all the stocks in a market index, like the S&P 500, which is basically the 500 biggest companies in America. This means you're guaranteed to get your fair share of whatever the market does, and you do it for incredibly low costs. Now, this whole argument isn't just Bogle's opinion. It's not some hot take. It all comes down to what he called the relentless rules of humble arithmetic. And here's the key takeaway. Costs, fees, those are the single biggest thing that will determine how well your investments do over the long run. So let's look at this number, -63%. What on earth is that? Well, that's the chunk of your potential wealth that can be completely devoured by what sounds like a tiny 2% annual fee over a 50-year investing journey. See, a 2% fee doesn't just cost you 2% a year. It destroys the growth that money could have made for you year after year. It is a quiet, relentless wealth killer. You can think of it like this. There are two powerful forces at war inside your portfolio. On one side, you have the beautiful magic of compounding returns, where your money starts making its own money. But on the other side, you have this dark twin, the tyranny of compounding costs, where those fees are working just as hard, but against you. Bogle's entire strategy is about letting the first one run wild while starving the second one to death.
And the data? The proof is right there in the numbers. Over a long period, like 15 years, a staggering 90% of those active funds, the ones run by the experts, fail to beat a simple, plain vanilla S&P 500 index fund. They don't even come close. It really makes you ask, why on earth would you pay more to get less?
All right, so the why is pretty clear. But what about the how? How do you actually put this into practice? The great news is, Bogle laid out a super simple, actionable plan that really anyone can follow. You do not need a PhD in finance, you just need a little discipline.
And here it is. It's just 4 simple principles. 1. Own the entire market using those low-cost index funds. 2. Be absolutely relentless about keeping your costs as low as humanly possible. 3. Hold on for the long haul. We're talking decades, not days. Ignore the scary headlines. And finally, number 4, as you get closer to retirement, add some bonds to your mix to dial down the risk. That's it. That's the formula. Now, Bogle's final point is maybe the most important of all. Your own behavior as an investor is just as crucial as your strategy. The financial world loves excitement and drama, but in investing, boring is beautiful.
boring wins.
We've all seen this happen, right? A fund has one killer year, it gets written up in all the magazines, and everyone rushes to throw their money at it. Bogle warns this is a classic mistake. It's because of something called mean reversion. All that really means is that amazing performance and terrible performance both tend to snap back to average over time. So today's hot fund is statistically likely to be tomorrow's meh fund. Chasing yesterday's winners is like driving while only looking in the rear-view mirror.
So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. Is buying the haystack and just holding on for dear life, is it too simple? Is it just too boring? Or is having the emotional strength, the discipline to stick with this common sense plan through all the crazy ups and downs, is that the most powerful financial skill you can have? At the end of the day, Bogle's key takeaway is that you don't have to be clever to win in investing. You just have to be disciplined. By embracing good old-fashioned common sense, keeping your costs ridiculously low, and just staying the course, you can put the full power of the market to work for you. It's a simple idea, but man, is it a powerful one. Subscribe so you don't miss an episode.